Hello, good morning. Welcome in, everybody. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Tarot and Astro Insights. And we're going to talk about the twin flame forecast for the week ahead. We've got some big energies playing out this week up in the cosmos. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go further into these energies with some card messages. So stick around because today on Monday, we're going to have the Sun forming a trine to Neptune. We're going to have Mercury in the pre-shadow retrograde energy in an opposition to Jupiter. In Gemini on Tuesday, we've got some big energies playing out on Tuesday with Mercury forming a trine to Chiron, and Pluto is finally going to ingress in the sign of Aquarius to stay for the next 2 decades or so. On Thursday, the 21st, the Sun is going to enter into Sagittarius. So happy birthday, Sagittarius collective out there. Both of my daughters are Sagittarius. We're going to have the Sun shortly after it enters into Sagittarius, forming a sextile to Pluto at 0 degrees. And then on Friday, the 22nd, we're going to have Venus forming a sextile to Saturn. So what does this mean for the twins? Let's talk about it. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment on the video, and share the video, especially if you're resonating with the messages. But let's talk about the Sun trine Neptune and Mercury opposite Jupiter. And so this energy that we're starting the week with is kind of triggering a new sense of creativity. It's kind of this energy of allowing us to open up our heart. This is a very compassionate energy I feel coming through, and this is where the twins are going to be seeking those deeper spiritual connections. And it's all about being open-minded, right? And so this transit playing out on Monday is going to be ideal for reunions, reconciliations, going into that spiritual quest, developing your intuition, and healing all of these old wounds between the counterparts. I was shown this very prominent energy of the Ace of Wands and the Death card. And so this combination is pretty loud. It speaks of the importance of embracing change, because that's this whole journey is all about change and transformation. And we do have to kind of embrace this transformation with a little bit of enthusiasm and some courage. And so it's a big reminder that endings will lead to new beginnings. And so there's great things I feel achievable this week for the twins if we can maintain that positive mindset and if we are willing to take a risk. With Mercury opposite Jupiter, this is, I feel, sparking some new ideas, some big, grand plans when it comes to some ideas moving forward. It's going to really trigger an optimistic energy, I feel, between the twins. And so you might come into new downloads, some new ideas. This is all about covering a lot of groundwork, I feel, in these energies. But if you have a narrow view, then you might have to take a step back. You might have to maybe take on less projects, less tasks, in order to make the most of these transits playing out this week. This also brought forward a very prominent energy of the Moon and the Seven of Cups. And so this is quite a unique energetic combination that came through with Mercury opposite Jupiter. And so this combination kind of represents a little bit of illusion and deception, especially with the Moon and the Seven of Cups together. That's what that can kind of create. So together, it does almost symbolize a little bit of confusion. You could be lost when it comes to your feelings in that energy, but it does lead to an individual way of thinking. But be mindful, because this is where maybe you could be led astray and you could make some unwise decisions. So just be mindful, because this is a massive period of change taking place this week. There is a huge need, I feel, to reassess the choices that we make moving forward, especially with that Seven of Cups energy. And so there could also be some unseen issues that are causing problems with the Moon coming up. So it's really important to be aware. It's really important to trust your intuition and to allow that intuition to guide you. Do not allow fear to guide you forward, because this feeling of overwhelm kind of brought forward in these energies is saying you really need to weigh the options when it comes to moving forward, because they do feel a lot of the divine masculines within the collective are very much struggling when it comes to committing to the path with the divine feminine. And so take that time to properly assess. Don't rush into anything. On Tuesday, the 19th, with Mercury trine Chiron and Pluto entering into Aquarius, it was a big prominent energy of the Tower card with the Emperor. And so this is all about a tower breaking down anything superficial so we can finally deepen this emotional connection between the counterparts. And so we're transforming these wounds into wisdom this week. We're reflecting on the personal growth that we've gone through on this awakening journey. And this is where we find that inspiration to help others heal by communicating about the journey that we've gone through. And so this is all about refreshing our focus. We're going to want to refresh our focus. We're going to want to adapt to a new way of thinking, so we can finally take on that new perspective moving forward. And so lessons I feel are finally going to be learned. And so there's going to be a lot of new information coming forward. And it was like the energy of like eyes wide open. And I kept hearing that Katy Perry song, I'm Wide Awake. And so it's kind of like opening up the eyes to the 5D world if you've not been aware of these higher conscious energies. And so I do feel the twins are being pushed into union because we are here to be these leaders and these spokespersons for the wounds and the traumas that we've healed from when it comes to our own personal twin flame experience. And so the world really is about to change drastically as Pluto moves into Aquarius. And we've been talking about it for a while. I'm sure you haven't been living under a rock and you've heard about Pluto moving into Aquarius. And so we've all been talking about this ingress of Pluto going into Aquarius. And so this is big. This is huge, especially for the twins. This is probably the most important astrological shift of the entire year. Maybe even the most important shift of the entire decade. And so Pluto is going to spend approximately the next 20 years or 2 decades in Aquarius, transforming whatever area of your birth chart this Aquarian energy is sitting in. And so this is not only transforming us as individuals in very profound ways, the collective is also going to shift in a very profound way. And so you think about Pluto, it only changes signs roughly about every 20 years. It's been in Capricorn for about 16 years now. And so our focus is going to shift into completely new areas of our life. And when Pluto was in Capricorn, there was a big focus on our health and work. Capricorn is the workhorse, working very hard, right? And when Pluto moves into Aquarius, we're moving into the age of air, the age of authenticity. We're going to be shifting completely into a whole new era. And this is going to affect relationships as well. And so what is on top of your mind this week? Really be mindful of that, because our reality is shifting, and what you've been a part of for the last 16 years might no longer be relevant moving forward after this shift, because basically Pluto in Aquarius is saying, hey, the only thing that's constant in this physical reality is change. And I noticed my camera's looking a little bit crooked there. And so can you feel it? I don't know about you, but I've been feeling this change building. I've been feeling something's brewing. I'm not sure what. I can't really quite put my finger on it. But we are in the midst of a major life transition, and most of us are painfully aware of what's up when it comes to this massive change. And so Pluto is a slow moving planet. It's a slow transformation. And so we kind of got a little bit of a taste of what this transition is going to bring forward when Pluto dipped into Aquarius earlier in this year and then went retrograde back into Capricorn for that final cleanup. And so we're kind of at this precipice of getting to the other side this week. And so there's going to be a certain area in your life that's going to reach some type of conclusion. I feel a neutral conclusion, and it's the energy of when one door closes, another door will open. But we do have to close the door on the past. And so for me personally, Pluto is going to be ingressing into my 12th house in Aquarius. And we all know what the 12th house is about. It's about burying the past. It's the house of karma. It's the house of undoing. It's the house that knows no bounds. And I also have my south node that sits in that 12th house. And so this is a very, I feel, exhilarating energy that I'm sitting in, because although there's almost like uncertainty for me about the future, I'm very much excited about completing these karmic lessons. And so every transit this week, I feel, is going to bring forward a new opportunity. And so Aquarius also is going to destabilize any false foundations. And so this really is a massive invitation for the twins to embark upon this co-creation with the universe, because ultimately we do need to work with the universe when it comes to transforming our lives in ways that we couldn't quite imagine. And so I feel miracles are around the corner. And so if you find yourself resisting change, be mindful, because as that saying goes, better the devil you know. But ultimately, when we stick to what is familiar, when we stick to what is safe, when Pluto changes that sign this week, anything that we've been clinging to when it comes to the past, that's really the last thing we want to do, because Pluto shifting into Aquarius is saying, hey, we're here for change. And so to cling to something that is old or dying away or no longer serving us isn't really going to serve us, because Pluto's going to do its magic. It's going to do its work. And we're going to have to emerge from some type of tower. And it's not going to be easy, but it's definitely going to be worth it. And so it's kind of like the diamond being formed. And I feel that's kind of this energy coming through. And so the diamond forms under pressure, under grit, under intense heat. And on the other side of this transformation, it's a new, stronger version of what it once was. And so we kind of have to emerge through the work of Pluto. The Emperor and the Tower energy, I do feel, is connected not only to the divine masculine collective, it's also connected to the very foundations and structures of our society when it comes to political leaders. And so the Emperor, you think of the Emperor, it represents stability, it represents order, and the Tower represents the exact opposite of the Emperor. And so this is bringing forward what I feel is total destruction. And that's not to instill any type of fear, but together, the Emperor with the Tower energy, this combination is saying, hey, those plans that you had, those strategies that you had, is being challenged. Those plans are probably going to go awry, and the very foundation of your life is probably going to be called into question. And I feel that is what is happening with a lot of the divine masculines this week. And so this is really suggesting a powerful transformation within power struggling dynamics and the structures that we've built within society. And those divine masculines that are staying in that Emperor reversed energy and wanting to, be in control and have the last say, they're likely going to face some type of unexpected challenge this week that is going to lead to a necessary revelation of their path, their mission. And so this pairing of energies is kind of urging us to balance all of this chaos playing out with a sense of order. So we do have to embrace change. That's the bottom line. But we also have to maintain that core stability from within, because we have to be the calm amidst all of the chaos going on around us. And so I do feel the divine masculine collective is being challenged to examine their life, their structures around power and control, and to embrace this transformation, because that Tower energy was very prominent. And that's all about abrupt, unexpected change. It's all about the breakdown of outdated foundations, outdated relationships. It's encouraging the masculine to embrace the disruption, because it's an invitation to consider, how we can come up with a new way of being. And so there's going to be unforeseen upheavals this week. It could be in the realms of relationships, could be in the realms of finances. But basically, this upheaval is showing us the importance of that internal structure and discipline, and to maintain control of integrity and accountability. And so these two archetypes together was a huge energy indicating surrender, control, embrace the chaos, because we're at a juxtaposition cross this week, and we are urged to develop spiritually. We're on the precipice of massive evolution here for the collective. And so we got to kind of journey through all of the concepts of what's not working. There's a big interplay between destruction and construction this week. That's going to be a central theme, I think, as Pluto transitions. And so we have to remain open. We have to be firm in our values as well. And so we kind of got to explore all of the lessons of these archetypes in order to understand where we need to grow to harness more stability in our lives. And so on Thursday, the 21st, with the sun entering into Sagittarius, and the sun almost immediately forming a sextile to Pluto. This really brought forward the energy of the Fool and the Nine of Wands, and the Fool and the High Priestess. So let's first talk about people born under the sign of Sagittarius. They bear the seal. They bear the seal, those born under the sign of Sagittarius. They are ruled by Jupiter, which symbolizes justice and happiness. And so I know my Saggy girls are usually very optimistic, very active, very social. And Sagittarius is also very brutally honest. If you lie to a Sag, good luck to you, because they're likely not going to forgive you. But basically, a Sagittarius is a very direct energy, and they don't mean to hurt others with their honest directness. But I do feel this is all about nobody's getting through this week unscathed. And so with the fearlessness energy coming through with the Fool and the Nine of Wands, this is saying resilience. And so together, these energies, I feel, are creating a very powerful influence, suggesting that we are on the cusp of a brand new journey. We are on the cusp of some type of union energy when it comes to the twin soul venture, the twin flame journey. And so I feel the masculine is going to have to muster up his courage this week to take a leap of faith. And that's going to be required for the twins to achieve that mutual mission, that mutual goal. With the sun sextile Pluto, this is huge potential for personal growth, huge potential for self-empowerment. And so there's going to be an opportunity, I feel, for all of us to dive deeper into the aspects of our psyche, because these aspects will be playing out somewhere within the housing side of our birth chart. And this is going to bring forward a new sense of understanding, a new sense of transforming all of these inner fears, that Nine of Wands. And we're going to have to face the blockages, right? We're going to have to tear down the blockages, which means shedding the old patterns, right? We're going to have to shed the old patterns, which are connected to the South Node. And those patterns also hold all of these latent gifts that we're here to bring forward, our talents. And so with the Fool and the High Priestess, guys, this is a very exciting, powerful pairing and combination. It represents a new beginning without a doubt. It represents adventure. It represents intuition. And so this is it. We have to trust ourselves. We have to have faith in the journey ahead. And when channeling that energy, I kept hearing that trust fall energy by Pink. And so going into Friday on the 22nd, it's a huge energy, I feel, of massive global spiritual awakening. Venus sextile Saturn, it is a time period of softening boundaries that we've kind of held between us on the journey. And we're kind of bringing forward a new perspective. We're kind of stepping outside of the field of awareness here with the Hanged Man and the Four of Cups is what this brought forward. And so there's going to be a new awareness when it comes to the obligations of these unions, of this romantic and personal connection, and it is to lead to professional relationships as well. And so there's like a realism energy coming through. Saturn is like a realism, and we got to remember Saturn did station direct during the full moon in Taurus. And so this is all allowing us to improve and stabilize these unions, these twin flame connections. And so by the end of the week, we're going to have this very grounded feeling about us when it comes to this connection, and the increased importance of these unions. And spiritual awakening was very loud. And so there's a profound sense of the divine masculine collective going through spiritual awakening this week. And so I do feel a lot of the divine masculines, though, are feeling very stuck. They're feeling very bored in whatever situation has held them back from these reunions. And it's almost like this energy of they're really uninterested in life. And so I think they're feeling emotionally, mentally, and physically trapped in their present circumstance. But that is all about to shift this week. So guys, let's go further with the cards. Let's see what other messages need to come through for the twins. I'm going to start by pulling in with the Star Codes Astro Oracle deck. We're going to see if there are any other hints of astrological energies that need to come through. And look at that on the cut. We get the 12th house and we get Jupiter. So we currently have Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. So maybe you are a 12th house Gemini. But what I want to say is really look to that 12th house in your natal chart, in your birth chart, because when we bury the past, we do have the ability to manifest that wish fulfillment, that 10 of Cups, that emotional fulfillment. And so the 12th house is all about introspection. And I've been feeling it, guys. I've been feeling the pull to slow down when it comes to creating content, because I too am going through an internal shift here, and it feels good and it feels bad, and it's all of those energies in between. But I'm definitely on the precipice of completing a major cycle in my life connected to Pluto and Capricorn, connected to that father wound. And so look at this 12th house. It's the energy of an activation, a spontaneous activation. You see all of the chakra energies going upward. And so the 12th house really is asking you to go deep into what areas of your life you need to expand beyond. And so Jupiter retrograde is an internal expansion, right? And so we won't see the results of that work until Jupiter stations direct, and then the outer will reflect the inner changes. I do feel a King of Wands energy coming through, so pay attention to where Jupiter is retrograde in your chart. For me, it is now currently retrograde in my 4th house, and so it's all about getting the house organized, all about doing the internal work for me. So let's get a few of these cards out for the twins, and let's see what other energies need to come through when it comes to this urge to merge is what I feel. There's like an urge to merge for the twins this week. So let's get at it. Look at that, the 11th house. A lot of the twins do have a significant collective mission when it comes to the spiritual community. And so I'm reading it this way. I see the masculine, the feminine hand, and then we get the hand of the divine, bringing the twins together. I feel a very prominent 9 of Cups energy there. Look at that. We get Taurus, which is all about cultivating those solid foundations for leadership. And so there's something still clearing over the next couple of weeks connected to that Taurus full moon leading into the new moon in Sagittarius, which will be on the 29th of November, the day before my daughter's birthday. And then we get progression. And so whatever revelation or energies came through at that Taurus full moon, I do believe it brought forward like the divine why, that pivot point of, hey, where am I going forward? What is it that I need to cultivate when it comes to a sense of connectedness within a community, within a group of friends, and then the progression. So there is almost like a 2 of Swords element coming through. And so things might not be clear because of the challenges that need to be overcome, but there's something very loud, I feel, about divine timing playing out this week. Bottom of the deck, we get Cirrus. I hope I said that right. And that's connected to nurturing self. It's a 29 card, which is the completion, right? It's the anaretic degree. It's the completion. And then below that, we get the 7th house relationship. And so we are completing these cycles of lack, the cycles of regret, guilt, shame, holding on to those negative relationships, holding on to these entanglements and these soul ties connected to the 7th house. And so really have a good look at that 7th house. The 7th house is the great descent. It is the fall. The 7th house is also connected to our one-on-one relationships. It's connected to marriage. It's also the house where we have to master the relationship to self. And so for me, my 7th house has a great big Virgo stellium in there, including Saturn and Jupiter, and my moon all kind of resides in that 7th house. And so I was here to master the relationship to myself. And so when Saturn sits in that 7th house, marriage and commitment will be postponed and delayed for you until later in life, until you master boundaries and that relationship to yourself. And so maybe that's coming up for you as well. But as we shift from Pluto into Capricorn, we are headed towards some type of fated achievement. I feel a lot of the feminines are coming into affluency. And below the achievement card, we do get a confrontation and an opposition. And so you're not going to want to go head to head with anybody this week, but I do feel almost like a Knight of Swords energy connected to the past. And so we're here to overcome these confrontational energies. And so there's something very passionate, I feel, being triggered. And there could be a going to head with somebody, some type of confrontation here that will get you unblocked to move forward. And so the relationship energy is very, very loud. And so I feel we're on the precipice of mastering these lessons this week. So let's go a little bit further with the Heart's Hidden Secret deck. Let's dig into the Divine Masculine energy first. Look at that open heart on the bottom of the deck, and peace. So this is where we're heading. So right back to that very first transit we're playing into today is all about opening the heart. And so there's a new receptive, empathic energy, I feel, around the Divine Masculine, which is likely making him feel very vulnerable. And I feel the peace energy is what is being asked of the Divine Feminine. And so find that balance, find that harmony in your life, and really connect with those friendships that keep you grounded, okay? All right, what needs to come through for the Divine Masculine energies for the Divine Masculine Collective for the week ahead, please? All right, we got some out here. We get memories, we get trapped, and we get distance. And there's that conflicted energy on the bottom of the deck. And so the masculines are aware they've got a big decision to make. I do feel the conflicted energy is likely coming through due to maybe masking. There's still some masking going on here, I feel, with alcohol and drug abuse, or something that they've been masking with when it comes to addictions, whether it's overworking, something of the sort. And so what came through was memories, trapped, and distance. And so they are still trapped and stuck and tied down in some situation that they feel captive in, right? Almost like an Eight of Swords. And so this is where the distance is coming in. And so the separation, the space, the blockages are because of that entrapped situation. But ultimately, they are in the Six of Cups energy of nostalgia. I feel they're reminiscing. They're a little bit dwelling on the past. And I do think they're watching you. I do think they are watching your social networks, your social media pages. They're trying to gain some information about you to say, hey, is it okay to come forward? But there's definitely a blockage due to that entrapped situation, whatever that might be for the Divine Masculine. And I heard soulmates. And so they could be in another connection with somebody that is a soulmate. We have many, many soulmates on the journey. My nose is really itchy. So I feel this energy of like a lot of the masculines are feeling a little bit foolish at this point in time. So let's see what needs to come through for the Divine Feminine. But I feel like the path, it's like they couldn't see the path through the forest, through the trees. And now the path is kind of opening up for the Divine Masculine. I love it. Look at what came through for the Divine Feminine. We got the bitterness card in reversed, flipped out and reversed. And we get healing and foundation. And so the feminine is in a major releasing this week, purifying, cleansing. And you are establishing that firm foundation within your own family security and structure. And so this is a week of releasing the anger, releasing the hurtful energy. If the masculine said hurtful words to you, or if you said hurtful words to the counterpart, it's a huge releasing of the bitterness, the anger, and the resentment. And look at that bottom of the deck, we get chemistry and commitment. And then below that, we get obscurity, time, and twin flames. So I do feel there is a need to just let go of the longing, the craving, the aching, and the wanting. And so when we let go, when we move on, and we actually fully walk away and release the negative attachments and the negative emotions, that's when the flipping of the script kind of happens. And so there's something about waiting for the cycle to fully complete. And we're in that moment this week, I feel. So there is going to be a lot of mirroring. There is going to be a lot of shared feelings between the counterparts this week in order for us to go into this deep reflection of what are we still concealing? What is still creating this obscurity for the twins to come together? And so I do feel there's like a new spark, whether it's a new spark for creation, But I do feel the feminine is ready for that higher commitment of marriage, for the masculine to keep that promise of fidelity. And so there's going to be a spark here. Bottom of the deck, we get clarity. And this clarity is bringing us out of confusion about this new beginning. So what I see going on here is there's going to be an opportunity to either try again for a redo or to start over in a whole new direction, Not all twins do come together in union this lifetime, and that's going to be completely dependent on the work that you do, right? But I do feel the clarity is coming after months and years of unclarity, of unsurety, of uncertainty. And so there will be a new beginning this week. So that truth is going to be different for all of us. So set those intentions, because it will require honesty and it will require that new higher perspective. And so you might come into this realization like, hey, I'm better off to start over in a new direction. Or you'll come into the clarity of like, hey, now that I've cleared my headspace, my happiness lies in this connection. So let's go a little bit further with the Tarot of Dreams deck, and we're going to pull a 9-card spread, and we're going to see what needs to come through for the twins. So there, to me, it feels like the long-awaited arrival of some type of confession. The 3 of Wands reversed, the 7 of Swords in reverse. So there's going to be some truth coming to light this week. It could be a long-awaited confession. Maybe you've waited 3 years for the truth to come to light. But let's get 9 of these cards out, guys, and let's see what is in store for the twins ahead this week. First card out. Well, there's some anger. There's some sacred rage with the King of Wands in reversed, the Ace of Coins in reversed, and the 10 of Coins in reverse. So loss. A lot of the masculines could be losing it all this week. I also feel anger connected to the realization of what was lost in not taking the chance or not taking the leap of faith towards the divine feminine. The Chariot in reversed, Cancer energy. The central energy is the Devil card. There's that Capricorn energy. And then we get the Hierophant. And so hold the faith, pray, connect. Trust that a higher power is kind of taken over in these energies this week. We get the Moon, Pisces energy, Cancer energy, and we get the Ace of Swords in reversed, and we get the Emperor in reversed. And so I don't see the Tower out here, but this sure feels like one giant tower connected to the divine masculine collective. Oh my God, I can't even. There's the Tower. So I do feel this is the week where the masculine goes through that massive Tower, and I think it's bittersweet. What's below the Tower? And this Tower is to complete this karmic cycle once and for all. And so something is coming full circle this week. The masculines have been entrenched in some type of entrapped situation, whether it's addictions or codependencies. They've been in a cage, feeling like a sacred clown. I do feel like an emotional outburst. There could be an emotional outburst. There could be an emotional breakdown. But I do feel this is the week where we've got to face those fears. And the masculine has been living a lie. And that lie is coming down. So the false foundation is crumbling. The Tower's coming in this week. And then below that, we get the 8 of Cups reversed, to the 5 of Wands reversed, to the 5 of Cups upright, to the Death card. And so the masculines are going through a very profound awakening, a very profound shedding. The feminine, I feel, is walking away with a clear headspace. And so there's been a lot of struggle for the masculine about returning. The 8 of Cups in reverse is saying to me the great return after maybe years of struggling internally or dealing with outside opinions. But ultimately, there's a lot of guilt, shame, and regret here. And I do feel as we move from Scorpio season into Sagittarius season, there's going to be a great return because the masculine is being pushed into that leadership role. And so I feel they're coming and defending the connection. There's a new spark here. There's a new creative passion being ignited. So what is the Devil in reverse? Because that's the central energy. And I feel this is connected to Pluto shifting on the 19th. So what's happening on the 19th connected to the Devil? Let's get into that. Well, we get a Page of Cups. We get the Justice card, and we get the Seven of Coins in reversed. And so a long-awaited apology is what that looks like. And so a new beginning in love, baby steps. There could be an offer, a sincere offer of emotional maturity coming forward. The Justice card is saying something here needs to be made right, connected to the separation within these unions. And so something is coming to light. We are in a very fated time period, and there's that confession coming through. So this is like a long-awaited confession. That's what I feel. And so there's a big realignment this week. What is the overall outcome for the Divine Masculine in reversed here? Because they're getting rocked to the core this week. We get the Page of Wands in reversed. We get the Judgment card. There's that spiritual awakening. And we get the Two of Swords. And so unblocking of the heart. And so I think they're seeing a situation clearly. Very clearly. They're going through some type of process of soul retrieval. It's like the rug's been pulled right out from under them. And this is to rectify the past imbalances is what it feels like. So what is the Moon bringing in? There's like all of the skeletons in the closet are coming to light. Everything that was hidden is coming to light. And the Moon is bringing in a fresh new perspective. So a lot of the masculines have played the martyr. They've played the victim. And now they're getting a major wake-up call. Pisces energy. There's that disillusionment. And then we get the Palace of Swords in reverse. So they are going through a massive awakening. They are getting a life force activation. And they are coming into the truth about the Divine Feminine counterpart is what I'm feeling here. And so there's that realignment. And I do feel the Divine Feminine is coming into some type of good news or blessings from Spirit. And so victory is yours, Divine Feminine. You do need to move on from the holding on to, the clinging to, for sure, is what it feels like. So let's get an inner child oracle for the Divine Feminine. And we will get an inner child oracle for the Divine Masculine. Look at that bottom of the deck. It's time to envision a new story. Stop looking back at the past. Let go of the past. Spend some time in nature this week. Allow Mother Earth to renew and refresh your soul. But it's a 21 card. There's that completion. And so you see here, there's like almost like one big tower in the middle. And so this is a big time of letting go of the past. So what is the inner child oracle message for the Divine Masculine? Let go of the past. You saw me shuffle, guys. What is the inner child oracle message for the Divine Feminine, please? Okay, you deserve to be seen. Oh, look at it. It's like a fawn, a baby fawn, stepping into leadership to some type of stag energy. It's a 42 card. So there is a Two of Cups energy coming through, Divine Feminine. You've got to let yourself be known. You've got to let yourself be seen. Bottom of the deck, the combined energy between the twins is accept what is. The act of acceptance will bring peace. So the masculine needs to let go of the past. They need to let go of the negative emotions, and they need to be able to envision a new story. And so we're kind of at the crossroads of acceptance and surrender this week. And in order to surrender, we do have to accept what is, and we have to get to a state of peace, of that non-polarity within. And look at that, below that, it is never, ever truly the end. And so this is an infinite connection that we share with this beloved of ours. And so we need to trust that everything will be okay. We also need to practice freedom, and we need to release the weight of judgment. So everybody goes through their journey in their own sense, in their own timing. And so the twins right now are in a massive portal of metamorphosis. So let's close it off with some twin flame oracle cards, and let's see what the closing message is for the twins for the week ahead. This is my homemade twin flame oracle deck. And so there is likely going to be something rearing its head this week when it comes to a power struggle with the karmic partner. And so the karmic partner, I feel, is pushing the masculine to grow, and they're likely dealing with some type of conflict stemming from this past life karma with the karmic partner and the moon. And so I do feel we are definitely being affected by the moon. The lunar cycles are serving as gateways. There's some major shifts coming up here, guys, and we are in the process of this massive, deep transformation and metamorphosis. And so really work on healing those unresolved childhood wounds. That really is going to clear the path moving forward, because I think this is a week of making decisions, making choices, and that's kind of what I got, guys. So if you would like to go further with me with a personal reading or a twin soul reading, please feel free to check out the description box below. Also, if you'd like to become a channel member, you can join me every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time, where I go live and I pull into all 12 zodiac signs. And if you'd like to go even further with some exploration into astrology, I now am offering private one-on-one astrology mentorship classes. If you'd like to work one-on-one with me, check it out. There are different price points for different availability out there, like of what you can afford. So go check it out. Shoot me an email. I hope you have a great week ahead, everybody. And I certainly do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.